Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Keith Silva, in for Fran Stoddard. This weekend, Stratton Mountain Resort is hosting the 2022 Obstacle Course Racing World Championships. This is the second consecutive year Vermont has played host to this international competition. Recently, we brought you the story of Gabe Gates. We first met Gates and his family through Military Kids Vermont, a program that partners with Vermont 4-H to support military families. Gabe, who's now a cadet at Norwich University, is defending his title in the 18 to 24 age group for the 15,000 at this year's Obstacle Course Racing World Championship. I met Gabe on the track at Norwich back in the winter and tried to keep up with him. Emphasis on the word tried. Set, go. Keeping pace with Gabriel Gates is not easy.
Go ahead, Gabe, go. Yep.
That's because Gates is a world champion.
Give it up for Gabriel Gates.
He won the 15K in the 18 to 24 age group at the 2021 Obstacle Course Racing World Championships. The event was held at Stratton Mountain. Gates, a junior at Norwich University, had no expectations heading into the race.
I really wasn't prepared to do well. I was happy to be there. It'd been over a year since we'd been able to race, and the World Championship had been in London for 3 years, so I hadn't been able to compete because I couldn't afford to fly to London. So having in Vermont, I was just looking forward to seeing my old friends and have a good race, and going into that with the zero expectations really kind of let me do my own thing.
Gates began obstacle course racing when he was in high school. At first, his dad, Sergeant Joshua Gates, advised against racing. Gabe didn't listen.
I think I saw like a little commercial. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it was my dad was like, I know people in my unit that have done that. Like, you're a scrawny little high school kid. There's no way. And the moment he was like, I don't think you should do that, it was sold.
As it turned out, Dad was right. Sort of.
I was completely underprepared. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It was like 53 degrees in September, raining. I was so cold. I was so hungry. I finished. It took me 9 hours, and I loved it. It was super hard. I'd never been challenged like that before, and the feeling that you get when you're finishing is just the best part.
Across the Fence first caught up with Gates on a story about Military Kids Vermont, a partnership between the Vermont National Guard's Child and Youth Program and UVM Extension 4-H.
Almost always when I'm at these programs, I'm with one of the friends that I've known for probably 10 years now. And we're still friends, and we talk and we hang out outside of camps and Child and Youth programs. And it's a big help, and it sounds kind of cheesy, like, oh, find somebody to talk about it with, but it definitely does help. And those connections, even if you're not necessarily talking about your parent being deployed, you can look at each other and be like, yeah, man, it sucks, but it's okay.
The experiences Gates gained through Military Kids Vermont has served him well in obstacle course racing.
Having a parent deployed and having to deal with those emotional struggles and being able to find ways to take care of them in a healthy and safe way, it kind of transfers a lot into kind of the lifestyle you have for OCR, just kind of looking into, am I living a healthy lifestyle instead of kind of going internal with your problems. So being able to put stuff into perspective.
The first Obstacle Course Racing World Championship was held in 2014 in Oregonia, Ohio. 600 athletes took part in that race. Within 5 years, 2,500 athletes from 65 nations were in competition to see who'd be crowned world champion. This kind of competition may be fairly new, but organizers say its roots go back to childhood.
We're fun.
Rachel Ann Schiller is the Athlete Services Manager for Adventury, the organization that produces the Obstacle Course Racing World Championships.
I call it an adult playground. You think about kids that go and they swing on the monkey bars and the rings, and they climb around and they crawl in the sand, and they pick up big rocks when you take them hiking, and they run around with them. This is no different. It's just a big playground for an adult.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
Obstacle course racing requires speed, strength, and endurance.
Nice.
Schiller suggests looking up to find the type of athlete that fits all three categories.
I will actually steal a response. My partner he's a very competitive OCR athlete out here in UK. Climbers hit every single tick. You've got that endurance, you've got that cardiovascular strength, which you must have, because even when you're doing a 3K, your heart is just pounding. You have to have that dynamic movement, that ability to jump, to grab, and of course, grip strength. And nowadays, grip strength is such a huge portion of being able to survive an OCR race. It's not only being able to hold and carry things, because you need that, but being able to hold from up above is really important for the rigs, for the ropes, and for the walls. That ability to actually use your fingertips and really grab throughout the whole arm is very important. So you have to be cross-trained, but you better be able to run. At the end of the day, you better be able to run.
There are cash prizes that go along with the pride that comes from winning an OCR event. Competitors at the World Championships in Stratton earn $10,000 for a first-place finish. Prize money aside, what makes this sport unique is its competitive camaraderie.
People are there to help others. If someone ends up being better than they are, it just means you have to work harder. And it's an incredible atmosphere. Obviously, your top competitors are still there to win, but they're not there to make you worse. They're made to make themselves better. It's just that kind of sport. And I don't actually know any other kind of sport like that.
I really like the people that are part of it. So the people that I've made, the friends that I made there, they've lasted for years. And it doesn't matter that we're competing against each other. We're all trying to go for the same money pot or the same podium spot. We're all sharing information on how we train, venues we're going to. We share hotel rooms when we need to go places. They ride in our cars, like when we're going across the country. It's like these people, they're our own little family within it.
Gates has taken what he's learned from obstacle course racing and made it his way of life.
Your body's meant to go far. Every day that I decide to go for a run, I get a little stronger mentally, a little stronger physically, and I learn a little bit more about myself and about my body as I do it. Making sure that your body is just as primed as your mind is super important. Making sure that mentally you're able to just, when it's 3 in the morning, it's pitch black out and you're all by yourself, making sure that you still want to keep going forward. And then on the other side of that, making sure that when it's 3 a.m. and you just want an ice cream sandwich, that's probably not the best thing you need to eat.
To go along with his discipline and self-control, Gates practices something else that he learned before he became a world champion, back when he was just a military kid.
If people around you are struggling, try and help them and get them through it, and it's the best way to run a race, I think.
Good advice for overcoming obstacles in racing and life. Best of luck to Gabe and all the competitors in this year's Obstacle Course Racing World Championship. Be it in the crisp morning of fall or the dog days of summer, Lake Champlain is always changing. It's a process known as lake turnover. And while it sounds self-explanatory, this complex event mirrors the changing of the seasons as we learn in this video from Lake Champlain Sea Grant.
Lake Champlain is an extraordinary natural resource nestled between New York, Vermont, and Quebec. But the lake and its tributaries are being negatively affected by human activities on the land. Lake Champlain Sea Grant works to develop and share science-based information to improve the environment and economy of the Lake Champlain Basin.
Lakes are dynamic systems. Throughout the year, Lake Champlain experiences thermal stratification and lake turnover. What happens is occurring below the surface of the water in Lake Champlain from season to season. First, what is lake turnover and thermal stratification? Second, what impact do these events have on aquatic life?
In the same way we visualize shifts in the landscape, the same things are happening at the depths of Lake Champlain throughout the course of the year with the changing of the seasons.
Lake turnover is exactly what it sounds like. Water moves from the top of the water column to the bottom in a mixing event. What is happening in the lead up to these mixing events?
Thermal stratification is the process in which the lake becomes divided into layers based on water temperature and density. As the summer progresses, stratification becomes stronger and will create niche segments throughout the water column.
When the lake is stratified, there is going to be warmer water at the surface and colder water at the bottom of the lake. What you are seeing right now is a visualization of how the lake temperature shifts throughout the year based on physical effects in the atmosphere above, like temperature changes and winds. Lake Champlain turns over twice a year. once in the spring and once in the fall.
The lake begins to cool in the early fall, taking cues from decreasing air temperatures. This cooling process shifts the density of the water, and denser water is heavier, sinking to the bottom of the water column. When it does this, it actually forces the warmer water to the surface.
This cooling process sparks one of the annual lake turnover events in Lake Champlain. What impact does this have on the aquatic organisms that live in Lake Champlain? Lake turnover is an important phenomenon because it allows for the redistribution of oxygen and nutrient-rich surface waters to the deeper waters of the lake.
In the fall, wind moves highly oxygenated surface water to the bottom of the water column. This is incredibly important because once the lake freezes over, it eliminates the opportunity for atmospheric oxygen to be mixed into the water column.
Why doesn't the lake continue to turn over throughout the winter as the temperatures decrease further?
In the winter, ice forms when the lake's surface temperature reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Ice, as we know from ice floating in a glass of water, is lighter and less dense than the water itself. The ice acts as a barrier, preventing the lake from mixing. In addition, it also limits the lake's ability to exchange atmospheric oxygen.
As air temperatures rise in the spring and the ice thaws, the surface of the lake warms, pushing down the colder water, which is denser. This is the second mixing event.
Lake Champlain is a natural treasure. We all have a part to play in protecting it and the waters that drain to it, now and into the future. This video was produced by Lake Champlain Sea Grant, a partnership among the University of Vermont, SUNY Plattsburgh, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. To learn more about Lake Champlain Sea Grant and to see other videos in this series, please visit our website.
That's it for today. I want to thank our partners here at WCX for making today's program possible. And as always, thank you for stopping by Across the Fence.